Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown. Well, here we are. Game 6 eve. The Oilers trailing 3-2. Two potential victories away from the Stanley Cup. But, as I've mentioned so many times, these are going to be the two biggest, hardest fights for the Oilers so far to get. Having Game 6 at home in Rogers Place is obviously going to be a huge boost. I'll be there. Won't be in the stands with a ticket, but do plan to be at Molson Hockey House with a bunch of buddies. Tyson's coming down. So if you guys are in the area, stop by Hockey House, say hi. Would love to meet some of you. And yeah, we'll hopefully be cheering on a Game 6 victory for the Oilers that would tie this series and force a Game 7 on Monday night back in Florida for the Stanley Cup. Taking a look at the Oilers roster from today, we weren't expecting any changes, and we didn't see any changes, but head coach Chris Knobloch did have this to say on Evander Kane's status for Game 6. We have possibilities, so there is a chance that we see Evander Kane return to the lineup for the Oilers in Game 6. I still think it's unlikely. I think the Oilers are trying to keep all their options open. Evander Kane probably could play, but he just looked so injured, for lack of a better word, just did not look like himself. And unless he can come in and have an impact in the lineup, I think the Oilers are better off just sticking with the lineup that's won them games 4 and 5 here. But if Evander Kane is feeling well enough that he can come in, have an impact for the team, probably not in the top 6. We're probably looking at a bottom 6 role for Evander Kane if he does return. I'm certainly open to that, but part of me just wants to see the Oilers keep everything the same here going into Game 6. It's been the winning formula for the last few games, and why touch it if you don't have to? So we'll see what happens there. Goaltender Stuart Skinner has, of course, been a huge reason that the Oilers are back in this series. In games 4 to 7 in these playoffs, Stuart Skinner is 9-0 with a 1.56 goals against average and a .938 save percentage. So Skinner's had some wrath from the fans in these playoffs and some praise as well. But later in series, he has been the hero for this team, and the Stanley Cup Finals has been no different. So hopefully Stu can keep it going here and help the Oilers push the rest of the way to that Stanley Cup on Monday, but we'll see what happens no matter what. So damn proud of this team and just so happy to see how far they've come, and just so excited to see if they can make that final push and go the rest of the way. One other thing I did want to cover tonight, insider Frank Saravalli had this to say: Matias Janmark is likely willing to take a pay cut to remain with the team as long as there is more term on the deal. Janmark resigned last year on a 1-year, $1 million deal, so the Oilers could probably get him in that 1.5, maybe a little under $2 million range, but he would be probably looking on a 2 to 3 year deal, so we'll see what happens there. But Matias Janmark has certainly been a big factor for the Oilers in these playoffs. And the other note Frank had was Vinny Desharnais likely won't take a team-friendly deal to stay with the team and could hit the open market. Last we heard on Vinny Desharnais late in the year was that the Oilers were looking at a long-term deal. So obviously with the Oilers doing so well in the Stanley Cup playoffs, all the negotiating and planning for the most part has been pushed back a bit. Obviously the Oilers still have to be doing things behind the scenes to get ready for the summer here. So we may be seeing the end of Vinny Desharnais in Edmonton. I hope not. He's been a great staple with Stuart Skinner. And yeah, would just hate to see Vinny go at this point. I hope the Oilers can keep him, but he has been a bottom pairing defenseman, probably will not succeed that with the Edmonton Oilers, so I could see if he possibly wants to test the market to see if there's a better fit out there, but certainly do not want Vinny to leave and hope he stays with the Edmonton Oilers here going forward. So I think that's all I have for tonight, guys, but I will be back tomorrow night following the game with the Fanatic Rundown, and hopefully we're all in a celebratory mood getting ready for Game 7 on Monday. Let me know your thoughts going into Game 6. Let me know your thoughts on Mattias Janmark, Vinny Desharnais, two UFAs potentially returning with the Edmonton Oilers or possibly leaving. Let me know your thoughts on both players, where the Oilers are, in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.